Hello, ladies and gentlemen, the Mighty Mouse Plays, back at it again, showing you guys another exotic that doesn't get the love it deserves, the Tarrabah. This raid exotic SMG was recently buffed, but still manages to get slept on in a pretty major way. So the question becomes, is this weapon worth the spoils of conquest? Does it fit into the current meta? The answer, in my opinion, is a resounding yes. This is how the Tarrabah works. You can charge up the weapon by dealing and receiving damage, which is going to cause the weapon to become overcharged. Once fully charged, you reload the weapon to unleash the Ravenous Beast on your enemies, dealing increased damage at an increased fire rate. Dealing damage while this buff is active will increase the duration of the buff, allowing you to continue to rain fire on your enemies. Tarrabah is a perfect counter to the current state of the game, the healing meta, and honestly it would be a great option in any meta. So because Destiny 2 is in this healing meta, where healing nades and classy restoration are prolonging gunfights, this actually plays into Tarrabah's strengths. Because as gunfights turn into poking and running with all the healing, you're charging up your Tarrabah as you take damage and deal it, which is going to help you proc the Ravenous Beast perk, which will give you a significant advantage going into your next gunfight. If you plan on trying this weapon for yourself, you should understand the weapon's strengths and weaknesses to best utilize this Ravenous Beast. For starters, Tarrabah already has a 0.67 time to kill, which is already faster than most of the time to kills in the game. So this is going to make Tarrabah pretty dominant in the close range, but it's also going to help it be effective in those short to medium ranges as well. This leaves you room to run something like a sniper or a pulse rifle with it to cover long distances, which would give you a loadout that can cover all engagement ranges. In a game with small maps though, and fast gameplay, it's easy to stay within Tarrabah's effective ranges, making this weapon a good fit for most people's playstyles. Just be cautious about pushing engagements into the mid-range, as Tarrabah's kick can start to cause you to miss even with good recoil control, but that's why we're going to run something that's going to pair well with it to cover those ranges. And speaking of recoil control, Tarrabah has a perfect 100 recoil direction, which makes it a perfectly vertical recoil pattern, making it fairly easy to control. Since Tarrabah's buff, when you swap away from the weapon, you don't lose the entirety of your overcharge, which means if you do need to swap to a sniper rifle or a pulse rifle, you're not going to lose all the hard work you had trying to build up your Tarrabah charge, which is going to help you not feel locked into the weapon, which was previously a complaint I had with it. So even if you understand some of its strengths, what else can you do to improve your experience with this weapon? Let's talk about how you might want to optimize your armor with this weapon, and listing off some of the mods from most important to least important. In this instance, I think the most important is the SMG Unflinching, followed by the SMG Loader, then the Targeting, and then a special weapon loader for whatever your secondary weapon is. The Unflinching is the most important, as it's going to help you stay on target in nearly every gunfight that you're going to be having. The loaders are going to be the next most important because reloading is how you're going to proc the Ravenous Beast perk, and since you're incentivized to be staying on Tarrabah, having a fast reload is very important. The targeting will help by improving your aim assist, but more importantly it's going to help increase your aim down sight speed, which is going to make it feel more responsive. And the loaders for your other weapon are great because you should be spending most of your time with Tarrabah out as long as it makes sense for you. These will improve your gunplay, but let's also take a second to shout out an exotic that pairs perfectly with this weapon, the Peacekeepers. The Peacekeepers will give you a vastly improved handling on Tarrabah, as well as increasing your movement speed and strafe speed, which will allow you to move and strafe more quickly around with your Tarrabah than even your other weapon. It'll also reload your Tarrabah if you do need to swap away for it, while also giving you a plus 40 bonus to your in-air accuracy, which will let you take on some battles from the air with advantage over your opponents if you need to. So this will help you not only more easily close the distance to your next engagement, but it's also going to make the weapon feel great to use. So if you're the type of player who enjoys being up in the enemy's face, this build is perfect for your playstyle. I absolutely think this weapon is worth the spoils of conquest if you have them, and is worth saving up for since it has such a strong place in the current meta. I hope that all of you have had a chance to learn something new about this awesome raid exotic. If you like what you saw, please like and subscribe for more. And as always, I appreciate all of your guys' time. Thank you, and stay smooth, Guardians.